Welcome all. I'm joined by Hovsep Patvakanyan, the head of the Investment Council of Armenia. So Hovsep, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to talk a little bit about this program which has been approved by the Armenian government. As I understand, it's to provide salary subsidies for highly qualified workers. And these subsidies can go up to 70%. So this was developed in conjunction with both the Economy Ministry, as I understand, and the Investment Council of Armenia. So can you tell us a little bit more about this program, what it took to get to this point where the government has approved the program, and what are the aims of this subsidy program?
Thank you. So we started to work on the program from February of 2022. The way our work is conducted is through the issues that our council members bring forward. So we've been receiving all these signals from the business associations, from the businesses, from the working groups that we hold from time to time, that they need highly qualified specialists and they can't find it in Armenia to the degree they need to. One of the issues was that the salaries that the highly qualified specialists request is out of range for these businesses. On the other hand, when we're speaking with the diaspora Armenians and diaspora organizations, so when we started to speak also with the diaspora Armenia organizations, we realized that a lot of diaspora Armenians want to come to Armenia, want to live here, but the issue is that their expectations of the salary is higher than what the current businesses in Armenia can offer. So we've started the process of bridging these two needs together, and we've developed the project which turned into the government decree, which is called Integration Program for Highly Qualified Specialists into Armenia, which basically says that if you're a business and you attract a highly skilled labor into your organization, you are able to receive from 20 to 70% subsidy for their salaries, up to $5,000 per month, which is huge.
Yes.
Basically, we have the criteria set there that refers to how we define what is high qualified specialist. And there are two components. First is the educational component, whether they are a graduate of top 400 universities, be it bachelor degree, master's degree, or PhD degree. And if it's not met, the other criteria that can be applied to is the work experience, whether they have more than 10 years of experience in one of the top listed companies. We have the list of 12,000 companies, internationally recognized, being a part of different listings, Forbes, Headhunter, etc. And if you're a specialist that meets one of those criteria, you can fully apply for this program. In case of application, the business itself should apply for the highly qualified specialist integration into the organization. And this refers to every type of organization. This can be business, this can be university, this can be foundation, this can be an NGO. The point is to bring people, highly qualified specialists, into Armenia to help them stay here. Through the program, you're able to get this subsidy not only for 1 month, 2 months, or 1 year, you're able to get this for up to 3 years. Okay. So it's a good signal, institutional signal, that we need you here, dear diaspora Armenians, dear highly qualified specialists, and we're ready to pay for that.
So it'll be till 2025 around
Yes.
that ballpark. And once the government has already approved it, can the ball already get rolling? Can the program start?
The government has already approved it. Now they're in the stage of receiving applications. We've created a platform that is called talent.icarmenia.am, through which they can get to know all the details. They can check their eligibility for the program. They can see what is the application process, and they can apply through this platform.
So they would have to go onto the platform, but how can we make these people, around the world aware of this opportunity?
Currently, we're working with different organizations that represent diaspora Armenians worldwide. One is Diaspora Commissioner's Office. The other one is Repod Armenia. And we try to involve ourselves in spreading this message in different platforms. We've recently talked about this at the Global Summit for Diaspora Armenians. We are here talking about this on CivilNet, on many other platforms where it's possible to reach out many more highly qualified specialists. But also in Investment Council of Armenia, we have a list of different organizations in Armenia that has the capacity to attract this talent into Armenia. So we do also the email marketing. We outreach our partners in different countries because the EBRD Investment Council is present in 13 countries. And wherever there is the presence of our organization, we try to use this leverage as well to spread the news.
So I assume the Economy Ministry and the Investment Council of Armenia have come to the conclusion that the benefits for the Armenian economy of these highly qualified workers coming outsets the costs of these subsidies. So, I mean, what benefits would this bring, let's say, in general, to these companies and the Armenian economy?
Exactly. The point was, in our general estimation, the point was to increase the productivity of businesses and the productivity of organizations, because we see that they reach to a certain level, after which they simply continue their operations, but they don't grow. They don't grow their productivity, they don't grow extensively or intensively. So when it comes to bringing these businesses to a whole new level, it's important for the highly qualified specialists to be involved in the process. And basically, in the very basic scheme, in the simplest scheme, we're saying that if you're a highly qualified specialist and you're coming to Armenia, you have bachelor degree or master's degree, or at least 10 years of experience, you'll be receiving 20% of the reimbursement, which is basically exactly what the personal income tax is. So we're saying we don't charge you the personal income tax as long as you're in Armenia, as long as you are paid high wages by your business, we will reimburse this 20% to your business for bringing you here in Armenia. And then the gradation goes up. If you're a PhD holder, either from top 400 university, or if you have a bachelor and master's from different country, but PhD from Armenia and many other criteria, you'll be able to receive 50%. You'll be able to receive 70% if you are a PhD holder, but also if you teach at the Armenian university. This is another thing that we've been receiving from universities in Armenia, that there is need for many professors from top-ranked universities to be in Armenia, to teach in Armenia. But obviously, Armenian universities, state universities, it's very hard for them to afford these professors to be in Armenia for a longer period of time. They might be here for one day, one module, but not for a longer period. So this was our message as well, that in case you were able to bring these people to teach in Armenia, in the Armenian universities, the government will reimburse you 70% of their salaries monthly.
And there's other things going on at the Investment Council of Armenia. I also want to speak about an investment package for the regions of Vayots Dzor and Syunik, which were at the center of Azerbaijan's mid-September attack on Armenia proper. Can you tell us a bit about this investment package, please?
Sure. In general, Investment Council of Armenia is the high responsive body that is and was created by the EBRD and the government, the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, and the government of Armenia back in 2007. So we're in place, in-house for 15 years. So what we do basically is when we receive the signals from businesses and business associations on the legislative gaps, on the bottlenecks, on a certain situation that doesn't let the business to grow and to move forward, we enter into the matter and start to develop the legislative package by working with different businesses on one hand, but also with working with the government and the ministries. So when it comes to the Vayots Dzor and Syunik, you know that in September 13, 14, there was the aggression from Azerbaijan on sovereign territory of Armenia. And when we started to delve into the issue in terms of the business-oriented legislative assistance packages that is possible, we've realized that a lot of businesses, especially in tourist sector, they received a lot of cancellations. More than 4,000 rooms were canceled for the period starting from September up until November. We realized that the business activity as such has stopped in those regions, and it's very hard for those businesses to sustain and to be afloat up until the moment when the activities will revive. So we've developed the package which refers to bringing businesses from Yerevan, from other cities, to implement and to conduct their trainings, their corporate retreats, their qualification programs, to Vayots Dzor and Syunik. The package basically says that if you are an organization who wants to implement a corporate retreat, a training, any type of event for 3-4 days, and if you're able to bring at least 5 people in the scope of these events, then the government will subsidize you 60% of your organizational costs. And by organizational costs, mainly it focuses on the accommodation costs. So if you're coming to Syunik or Vayots Dzor and you're staying in those hotels and you pay those hotels, then we'll reimburse you 60% of your costs. And in this way, we aim to bring the business activity and active life back to those regions. Obviously, this is just a short-term program, and it will be required much more to do to make Syunik more active given the current realities that we have. But this is the first step to revive at least what we had before the aggression, and then to move forward building on it.
And finally, I'm interested in what you think, Hovsep, about the digital nomad visa idea. I'm assuming when highly qualified workers are coming to Armenia under this subsidy program, there must be some arrangements with regards to visas or staying in Armenia. But the digital nomad visa idea, which aims to bring highly specialized IT workers to Armenia, what do you think about that idea? Do you think it's viable?
We've been discussing this idea within our council for a long time. We believe the solution will be in a more institutional framework, not only visa. We're currently discussing the possibility of creation different clusters. In northern part of Armenia, in western and southern parts of Armenia, which will basically mean that they're not only coming to Armenia and staying in Yerevan and driving the prices up through their high demand, but are relocated to the villages, to the provincial cities and towns in Armenia, but not only in a discrete matter, but in terms of the creation of cluster. So what we're thinking right now, and we're discussing this on several fronts, we've been meeting with TUMO, with ministries, and trying to validate this idea and to move forward from this idea. The idea is the following. To create a cluster adjacent to different public schools in the region, and to turn one floor of the public schools into the co-working space for these IT freelancers. So basically they will have the adjacent cluster where they can live and they can sleep and they can eat. And then they'll have the last floor of the schools turned into their co-working space. But in this way, they will be able also to engage in the school activities. They will be able to give guest lectures, but they will be able to create an atmosphere for the children who go to school. They will see what kind of future they might have. There will be more interaction between the school children and the IT community. And it will fully change the atmosphere in the villages, because at the moment, as long as we go to the villages, we see that most of the children after school, they don't really have any entertainment to do. At the moment, there are Armat engineering laboratories in some of the schools in the region, and this helps them to keep busy, to keep intact, and to do more things. There are co-op centers in some of the villages, but that's not enough. So we're trying to alleviate this process to the level where this digital nomad programs can be institutionally beneficial for Armenia as such on a bigger scale.
Okay. Well, Hovsep Patvakanyan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too.
And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.